Have you ever felt completely alone in the middle of a storm? Have you gone through moments so dark where you felt that even God had abandoned you? Have you cried in silence, asking yourself why? If you're good, if you have faith, if you try to do what's right, your life continues to be so difficult. Today, you're going to discover something that will forever change the way you see your relationship with God. Because although you may have felt His silence, although you may have questioned His presence, although you may have believed He left you alone, the truth is completely different. God has specific, deep, and sacred reasons why He never, ever, under any circumstance, abandons a Pisces. And if you're a Pisces, get ready to cry with relief, because every word you're going to hear comes directly from the heart of heaven to yours. In this video, I'm going to reveal to you the 9 spiritual reasons why God never abandons a Pisces. And I'll tell you up front that reason number 5 is so deep, so sacred, so personal that when you hear it, you're going to understand why you've survived everything you've survived, why you're still here when others in your place would have already given up, and why every time you hit rock bottom, an invisible hand lifted you up, even though you didn't see it. So stay until the end, because each reason I'm going to reveal will not only confirm that you've never been alone, but will give you the peace your soul has been searching for during years. And if you know a Pisces who's going through a difficult moment, share this video with them, because these words may be exactly what they need to not give up today. Before we begin, I need you to do something important. Leave in the comments your birth date and from what city you're watching us. And if you ever felt that God abandoned you but now understand it was never that way, write God was always there in capital letters so other Pisces know they're not alone. And if this video arrived to you just when you needed it most, leave a heart, because that's the confirmation that God Himself brought you here. Now let's begin. Spiritual reason number 1, because Pisces carries in their soul the purest image of divine love. When God created the sign of Pisces, He wasn't just creating another astrological personality. He was creating an earthly reflection of His own essence. Pisces were designed with the ability to love unconditionally, to forgive the unforgivable, to give without expecting anything in return, to sacrifice themselves for others without seeking recognition. These qualities aren't human in their origin, they're divine. And God recognizes in every Pisces a little piece of Himself walking on earth. That's why He can't abandon you, because when He looks at you, He sees His own nature reflected. He sees His love translated into human form. He sees His compassion materialized in a being who, despite being hurt again and again, continues loving. Despite being betrayed, continues trusting. Despite being used, continues giving. That capacity of yours to continue being kind in a cruel world isn't weakness. It's the proof that you carry within you something that comes directly from heaven. God knows that if He abandons you, He would be abandoning His own essence. It would be like denying what He is. That's why, although you feel He's far, He never moves away. He can allow you to go through dark valleys. He can allow you to face storms, but He never lets you walk alone. His presence is in every step you take, in every tear you cry, in every time you decide to get up when everything tells you to stay on the ground. Because you're not just any creation, you're the creation that most resembles His heart. When other signs act from ego, you act from love. When others seek revenge, you seek forgiveness. When others build walls, you build bridges. And every time you do this, you're being exactly what God dreamed when He created you. That's why He sustains you even when you don't feel it. That's why He protects you even when you think you're unprotected. That's why never ever does He abandon you, because abandoning you would be abandoning the purest expression of what He is. Spiritual reason number 2, because Pisces are the intercessors of the world and God needs their prayers. There's something very few understand about Pisces. You don't just pray for yourselves. Most of your prayers are for others. You're the friend awake at 3 in the morning praying for someone who's suffering. You're the mother interceding for her children even when they're far away. You're the compassionate soul who sees a stranger in pain and without knowing them, prays for them. You're the ones who carry in their hearts the weight of the world and take it to God's throne. God needs these intercessors. He needs pure souls who don't pray only for personal interest, but for genuine love of humanity. And Pisces are his most reliable intercessors because their prayers aren't contaminated with selfishness. When a Pisces prays, they do it with genuine tears, with real compassion, with a heart broken by others' suffering. And this type of prayer has a weight in heaven that few people understand. That's why God can't abandon a Pisces, because if he did, he would lose one of his most powerful prayer warriors. He would lose someone who maintains the balance between good and evil simply with their constant intercession. Every time a Pisces prays for someone, they're being used by God to change situations, to open doors, to bring healing, to save lives. And although the Pisces doesn't see the result of their prayers, in the spiritual world miracles are happening because that sensitive soul decided to bend their knees. That's why when you, Pisces, feel God is far, what's really happening is that he's working on the prayers you've made for others. He's busy answering your intercessions, moving mountains you asked him to move, healing hearts you presented to him, protecting people you entrusted to him. Your prayer work is so important that God sustains you even in your weakest moments because he knows the world desperately needs you to keep praying. Spiritual reason number 3. Because God knows that Pisces are the ones who suffer most and he can't leave them alone in pain. This is a difficult but real truth. Pisces feel deeper than any other sign. Your sensitivity isn't superficial, it's abysmal. When a Pisces suffers, they don't suffer only for their pain, they suffer for the pain of everyone around them. They absorb others' sadness like sponges. They carry weights that aren't theirs. They cry tears that belong to others. And all this accumulated suffering makes their path heavier than anyone else's. God knows this. He sees every tear you've cried in silence so others wouldn't worry about you. He sees every time you pretended to be okay when inside you were breaking. He sees every night you stayed awake with your soul shattered while the world slept peacefully. He sees every occasion when you carried someone else's pain while nobody carried yours. And his heart breaks, seeing you suffer so much while being so good. That's why he can't abandon you. Because he knows if he leaves you alone in your pain, you'll break. He knows that your extreme sensitivity, which is your greatest gift, is also your greatest vulnerability. He knows you need his constant presence because the world is too hard for a soul as tender as yours. That's why, although you don't see it, he's holding your heart in his hands every day. He's absorbing part of your pain so you can keep going forward. He's being your invisible strength when yours runs out. Every time you've thought, I can't anymore, but somehow you continued, it was because he held you. Every time you felt you were going to collapse but didn't collapse, it was because he gave you his strength. Every time you touched the deepest bottom and still didn't drown, it was because he dove with you and gave you oxygen when you couldn't breathe anymore. God never abandons those who suffer most because he knows that's precisely the moment they most need his presence. Spiritual reason number 4. Because Pisces are natural healers, and the world needs their gift. There's something that happens when a Pisces enters a room. The energy changes, people feel calmer, babies stop crying, animals approach with trust. And although the Pisces doesn't do anything conscious, their mere presence has a healing effect. This isn't coincidence, nor is it psychological. It's a spiritual gift that God planted in their soul before birth. Pisces are channels of divine healing. They don't need to study techniques or certifications. They carry the ability to heal inscribed in their spiritual DNA. Their hands transmit peace, although they don't know how. Their words bring comfort, although they aren't perfect. Their presence alleviates suffering, although they don't understand why. And God endowed Pisces with this gift because he knew the world would be full of broken souls who would need to be touched by their healing love. That's why he can't abandon a Pisces, because if he did, the world would lose one of its healers. There would be more pain without relief, more sadness without comfort, more broken souls without anyone to help them recompose themselves. Every Pisces is like a walking spiritual hospital. Wherever they go, they leave healing, although they don't realize it. And God needs these hospitals to keep operating. That's why he keeps them functioning, even when they themselves are wounded. The ironic thing is that many times Pisces are healing everyone except themselves. They're so busy caring for others that they neglect their own wounds. But God sees this, and although he allows you to heal others, he personally takes care of healing your deepest wounds. While you sleep, he restores what the day broke in you. While you cry, he's collecting every tear and converting it into medicine for your soul. He doesn't abandon you because you're his favorite healer, and he himself is your personal healer. Spiritual reason number 5. Because God made an eternal pact with each Pisces soul before birth. This is the deepest and most sacred reason of all. Before you were born, before you breathed your first breath, before you existed in physical form, your soul had a conversation with God. In that celestial conversation, God showed you the path you were going to walk. He showed you the joys, but also the pains. He showed you the victories, but also the defeats. He showed you the moments where you would feel his presence, but also the moments where you would feel his silence. And after showing you everything, he asked you, are you willing to go? Are you willing to be my representative of love in a world that often hates? Are you willing to forgive, although they hurt you? Are you willing to give, although they don't give back? Are you willing to shine, although they try to extinguish your light? And your soul, knowing all the pain you would face, said yes. Said yes because you loved God so much that you were willing to suffer to fulfill his purpose. In that moment, God made a pact with you. He promised you that although the path would be difficult, you would never be alone. He promised you that although you would feel his silence, it would never be abandonment, but preparation. He promised you that every tear would be counted, every pain would have purpose, every trial would make you stronger. And God never breaks his promises. The pact he made with your soul before birth remains valid today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. That's why when you feel God abandoned you, what's really happening is that you forgot the pact. You forgot that you chose this path knowing it would be difficult. You forgot that before being born, you already knew there would be dark moments. But God didn't forget. He remembers the conversation you had. He remembers your bravery in saying yes. He remembers the love that motivated you to accept this mission. And that's why he sustains you even when you don't remember you chose it. This pact is unbreakable. It doesn't matter how many times you doubt. It doesn't matter how many times you question. It doesn't matter how many times you feel he failed you. The pact remains there, written not on paper but in the very essence of your soul. And God honors it every day by staying by your side although you don't feel it. Because before you existed, he already loved you. And that love has no conditions, has no limits, has no end. Spiritual reason number 6. Because Pisces carry the emotions of the world, and God knows they can't do it alone. There's an invisible load that Pisces carry that other signs can't see. It's the emotional load of the planet. Pisces don't only feel their own emotions, they feel the collective emotions of humanity. When there's war somewhere in the world, although it doesn't affect them directly, they feel the anguish. When there's injustice, although they're not the victims, they feel the rage. When there's global sadness, although they have reasons to be happy, they feel the weight. This ability to feel at a collective level isn't a curse, although many times it seems like it. It's a spiritual gift that God gave to Pisces so they would be the emotional transmuters of the planet. They absorb the dense energy, process it through their compassionate soul, and return it transformed into love and light. They're like spiritual filters that clean the toxic emotions of humanity. Without them, the world would sink into unbearable emotional darkness. But this work has a price. Pisces get exhausted. They get depressed for no apparent reason. They feel a tiredness that sleep doesn't cure. They carry a weight that nobody else sees. And God knows it. He knows that this work He assigned them is exhausting. He knows that many times they'll want to give up. He knows they'll cry, asking themselves why their life is so heavy. That's why He can't abandon them. Because if He leaves them alone with this load, they'll break under its weight. That's why every time a Pisces is about to collapse under the emotional weight of the world, God intervenes. He sends a moment of peace. He sends a sign that everything will be okay. He sends a person who, without knowing, says exactly what the Pisces needed to hear. He sends a comforting dream. He sends whatever that Pisces needs to remember that their work is seen, valued, and isn't being done in vain. Because although nobody else understands the sacrifice they make, God sees it and honors it by staying by their side. Spiritual reason number 7. Because God entrusted Pisces with His most sacred secrets and doesn't abandon His confidants. Pisces have access to spiritual dimensions that other signs can't reach. They have prophetic dreams that show the future. They receive divine messages through signs. They hear God's voice with more clarity than anyone else. They see angels when others only see air. They feel spiritual presences when others perceive nothing. This connection with the invisible world isn't coincidence. It's because God chose Pisces as His confidants on earth. A confidant is someone to whom secrets are entrusted because it's known they'll keep them with respect and wisdom. And God entrusted Pisces with His deepest mysteries. He revealed to them things about the future, about destiny, about purpose, about divine love. He gave them access to celestial information that isn't available to everyone. And when someone entrusts you with their most precious secrets, it creates a bond that can't be broken easily. That's why God doesn't abandon a Pisces, because between them exists a spiritual intimacy that goes beyond the normal relationship between creator and creature. It's a sacred friendship. It's a soul-to-spirit connection. It's a mutual trust where God knows He can reveal things to a Pisces, and that Pisces will use them with wisdom, not with arrogance. Will share them when necessary, not to show off. Will keep them in their heart as treasures, won't waste them. This special relationship means God cares for Pisces with particular attention. He protects them with more zeal because they carry His secrets. He guides them with more precision because they know His plans. He sustains them with more strength because they're His confidential representatives on earth. And although this responsibility is heavy, it's also an honor. Because of all the zodiac signs, God chose Pisces to be His closest confidant. Spiritual reason number 8. Because every Pisces is living proof that unconditional love exists, and God needs that proof to keep walking on earth. In an increasingly selfish, colder, more self-centered world, Pisces are the last evidence that true love still exists. They're the ones who love without conditions, who forgive without limits, who give without expecting reciprocity, who sacrifice themselves without seeking recognition. And in every act of selfless love that a Pisces performs, they're demonstrating to humanity that God's love is real. God needs these living proofs. He needs people to see that yes, it's possible to love as He loves, that yes, it's possible to forgive as He forgives, that yes, it's possible to give as He gives. And every Pisces who walks on this earth is a walking testimony that these things aren't just religious theories, but possible realities. Every time a Pisces loves someone who doesn't deserve it, they're showing how God loves humanity. Every time a Pisces forgives the unforgivable, they're reflecting divine forgiveness. Every time a Pisces sacrifices themselves for another, they're being Christ in human form. That's why God can't abandon a Pisces, because if he did, the world would lose one of its last evidences that divine love exists. People already doubt God so much, already question his love so much, already wonder so much if he really cares about humanity. And then they see a Pisces loving unconditionally in the middle of a conditional world, and something inside them says, if this person can love like this, maybe God also loves like this. If this soul can forgive like this, maybe God also forgives like this. You, Pisces, aren't only loved by God, you're his love letter to the world. You're his way of telling humanity, look, this is how I love you. Look how this Pisces loves without conditions. That's how I love you. Look how this Pisces forgives although it hurts. That's how I forgive you. Look how this Pisces doesn't give up although they suffer. That's how I never give up on you. That's why he sustains you, cares for you, protects you, because through you, the world sees his love materialized. Spiritual reason number 9, because God promised he would never abandon the meek, and Pisces are the meekest of heart. The Bible says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." And of all the zodiac signs, none embodies meekness like Pisces. Don't confuse meekness with weakness. Meekness is strength under control. It's power to choose not to respond with violence when you could. It's deciding to forgive when you would have the right to take revenge. It's maintaining a tender heart in a world that tries to harden you. Pisces are meek in their essence. They don't seek to dominate. They don't need to win every battle. They don't have to always be right. They prefer peace over having the last word. They prefer love over having control. They prefer to forgive over holding grudges. And this meek nature is precious in God's eyes because it reflects exactly what he values. The world may see meekness as weakness, but God sees it as the greatest spiritual strength that exists. That's why he never abandons a Pisces, because he made a specific promise about the meek. He promised he would bless them. He promised they would inherit everything. He promised he would never leave them alone. And God can't break his promises. Every time a Pisces chooses to respond with love when they could respond with hate, God is watching with pride. Every time a Pisces chooses to forgive when they could take revenge, God is taking note. Every time a Pisces maintains a tender heart despite all the wounds, God is preparing blessings that Pisces can't even imagine. The meekness of Pisces doesn't go unnoticed in heaven. Every act of humility, every moment of gentleness, every decision not to respond to evil with evil is being registered in the celestial books. And although on earth the meek seem to lose, God promised that in the end they will inherit everything. That's why he sustains every Pisces who maintains their meekness despite the pain. That's why he doesn't abandon any tender heart, although the world tries to break it. Because the meek are his favorites, and he never abandons his favorites. If you're a Pisces and you've made it this far, I need you to understand something fundamental. Every moment where you felt God had abandoned you, it wasn't abandonment. It was silence with purpose. It was strategic distance. It was space for you to grow. But his presence never left. His eyes never stopped watching you. His hands never let go of yours, although you didn't feel them, because the 9 reasons you just heard aren't theory. They're spiritual reality written in heaven with your name. God can't abandon you because you're his purest image. He can't leave you because he needs your prayers. He can't let go of you because he knows your pain. He can't move away because the world needs your healing gift. He can't break the eternal pact he made with you. He can't leave you alone with the emotional load you carry. He can't abandon his confidant. He can't let the proof of unconditional love disappear. He can't break his promise to the meek. Each reason is a chain of unbreakable love that ties you to him forever. Now tell me in the comments which of these 9 reasons made you cry. Which one touched your soul deepest? Write the number and your birth date. and from what city you're watching us. If you ever doubted God's love, but today understand He never let go of you, write, God never let go of me, so other Pisces who are doubting see your testimony and recover faith. If this video arrived to you at a moment when you were about to give up, where you felt you couldn't anymore, where you thought God had forgotten you, give it a like so the universe knows this message saved someone today. And share this video with that Pisces you know who's going through their darkest valley, because these words may be the light they need to keep walking. Subscribe to the channel, because here we don't only talk about astrology. Here we confirm spiritual truths. Here we remind Pisces who they really are. Here we honor their sacrifice, their love, their sensitivity. Here we tell them what the world doesn't tell them, that they're valuable, that they're loved, that they're essential, that they're irreplaceable. Remember, dear Pisces, God has never abandoned you. He never has. He never will. Every silence has a purpose. Every trial has a reason. Every tear has a destiny. And at the end of your path, when you look back, you'll see that in the moments where you thought you walked alone, there were two pairs of footprints in the sand. And in the most difficult moments where you only saw one pair of footprints, it wasn't because He abandoned you, it was because He was carrying you in His arms. See you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the sacred mysteries of Pisces. Until then, keep your faith, preserve your meekness, keep loving although it hurts, keep forgiving although it costs. Keep shining although they try to extinguish you, because every time you do, you're fulfilling the purpose for which you were born, and God is by your side, proud, telling heaven, that's my Pisces, that's my representative, that's my beloved child, I will never abandon.